Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. As you know, we are going to be going over the 2017 updated onboarding and offboarding process proposal that my team has gone ahead and put together. My name, for those of you who don't know me, is Juliana. I am the supervisor downstairs with the help desk. And these are just a brief set of points that we would like to add to the onboarding and offboarding process here. So what we're looking at doing is adding these points to our already robust HR onboarding and offboarding programs. And the idea is by integrating these information security steps and education programs, we're going to be able to raise awareness within our company culture on a daily basis. Ideally, this is going to reduce the number of information security issues that we have annually. There's also another sub-point in that for employees that are looking to transition to different employment, by creating a better offboarding process, we're helping them prepare for that and ultimately creating a smoother, more enjoyable process for both us and them. So what I'm going to do today is present to you 3 new points for the onboarding process and the offboarding process, as well as kind of an implementation and timeline if these are approved. So let's go ahead and start with the onboarding process. Again, we do have 3 points here, and we're going to start with the largest one, which is going to be our Wi-Fi education. Wi-Fi education is really important for our company. As most of you know, we are not just located in the US, we are global in Europe, over in the UK, Germany, and France. So a lot of our employees are constantly moving between our offices, which ultimately means that they're looking for Wi-Fi hotspot connections, whether it's at airports or Starbucks or really anywhere that they see free Wi-Fi they want to connect. We do not encourage that any employee on an employee-owned device or a personal device with company data or communications on it ever connect to a public Wi-Fi hotspot. They're not secure. This education goes through those steps and also provides information on how to request hotspots from my team. We do provide hotspots to any employee that's looking to work from home or to work on the go in between offices. There's a very simple form available on our internal page, and we go over that kind of information. Next, we also would like to go over email phishing. This is a very important education module, and I'm sure many employees, even new ones, are already familiar with email phishing and kind of what they're going for. But due to the fact that the nature of the work that we do here and the accounts that we hold and our clients, we don't want to ever risk anything. So this education program kind of is protecting that information. In the education program, we are going to go over basic strategies when using email. So we're going to be looking at suspicious attachments, suspicious links, strange content in emails, as well as the reporting process that we offer through the help desk, what sort of information you can provide to us to help us kind of track down where these emails are coming from. Finally, we do offer an encryption service through the help desk. All you have to do is request it. So informing these new employees about these options, if they ultimately don't feel safe, we do have ways to protect them. All they need to do is ask. So finally, for the onboarding process, we would like to implement some education on password expectations. Basically going over 3 main points within passwords, and the first one being that each application should have its own unique password. We do have multiple applications here, and unfortunately we cannot do a side-by-side comparison between these applications and make sure that our employees are in fact using different passwords between these applications. So it's that reinforcement and training that's going to help us protect us there. Also, that strong passwords are expected for every password for an application. The strong passwords should be considerable in length, uppercase and lowercase letters, special characters, numbers, those kinds of things should be in passwords. And then finally, the expectation that no password should ever physically be written down, taped to a monitor, in a planner, anything like that. That's not a goal. That's also something to keep in mind. So now let's go ahead and transition to the offboarding process here, where we do have another 3 points that we would like to add to the HR documentation. So the first one is going to be data management on personal devices. As we know, a lot of our employees do keep company data on personal devices. Any device with company data does have the mobile device manager application installed on it, which allows us to remotely remove all of this data. On the last day of active employment, we do activate the mobile device manager on all personal devices, and we'll remove data and ultimately uninstall the mobile device manager so it's not ghosting in the background once it's done its job. This is something important for employees to know just so that they are comfortable with that idea. Moving next, we are going to we'd like to provide employees with a service timeline. This outlines all of the services that they have available to them and ultimately what their window of use is going to be. Applications such as email and cloud storage will be terminated on the last active day of employment. We did also highlight that no extensions will ever be granted for access for any reason. We don't want older employees to be accessing data that they really don't need anymore, so no extensions will ever be granted. Finally, I'd like to go over the return program. As you know, our company does provide employees to access to electronic devices such as tablets, laptops, company-owned cell phones. It is expected that all employees return these devices 3 days prior to their last day of employment. The idea behind that is that if they don't have it in at that point, we do still have those 3 days, that 3-day window to track down the employee and acquire that hardware. We do also facilitate assisted data transfers. So if you are looking to remove data from, let's say, a laptop or a tablet, as long as we have notification week prior to your final active day of employment, we can go ahead and help you remove that data to a flash drive or external hard drive. So finally, I'd like to go over kind of an implementation and timeline for these steps that I've proposed to you today. Again, this is only if this gets approved. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. In regards to implementation, the real key to this is bringing HR and the help desk team together and kind of outlining what both of our needs are from these new employees and from these employees that are also transitioning. So while these are our ideas and what should be covered during this process, it is important for us to work with HR and kind of streamline and make sure our verbiage and everything like that is correct. So that's kind of how we would like to roll that out. Also, we are looking at a timeline of releasing these new steps and these new education programs right around the end of Q1 of 2017. I know that doesn't give us much time after hopefully the approval process of this. However, I feel both my team and HR are very highly motivated, so we should be able to get this cranked out pretty quick. And then what I would like to do, I'm hoping myself and hope somebody that has some time in the HR department would be willing to kind of team up and observe what's happening with our information security issues and how the new hires as well as our transitioning employees handle these new education and documentation programs. Then what we would like to do is sort of edit these programs and then do another proposal to the board towards the end of Q2. That's kind of what we're looking at for a timeline on these. So that's pretty much all I have for you today. If you have any sort of questions or comments for myself or my team, feel free to go ahead and email us. You can go ahead and call the help desk downstairs. Come down and visit us if you'd like. Also, if you go on our internal page, we do have an anonymous web form. So if there are some things you would like to see added or some sort of special cases that you don't really feel comfortable talking about over the phone, go ahead and feel free to drop us that web form and we'll definitely take a look at that, all right? So thank you so much for your time today and your consideration in regards to these sort of new onboarding and offboarding processes that will definitely help to create a sense of information security in our daily company culture. Thanks so much.